Starting off with number 10, I mean, this didn't come as a surprise to anyone, but obviously, if it wasn't for Meg, it's very unlikely that Prince Harry would have thought to step down from the throne. But then again, he did seem pretty unhappy with the royal life, and although his whole life he's never needed to do anything crazy to earn his money, I know it must feel like a whole new life having to make money instead of it being handed to you on a silver platter. So, I feel for you, Harry, I really do. Life really must be so difficult for you. Their infamously controversial decision to voluntarily leave left them cut off from the royal earnings they were making from doing royal things. After the move out, the couple was gaining attention in ways that made them seem like horrible people. After clarifying that the two were going to step back from their duties to focus on their mental health and working towards a life from their family without the royal toxicity, a lot of people had some strong opinions on their decision. Number 9 on our list, the projects the couple took after their sudden step back from the throne included the 3-year podcasting deal with Spotify, worth as much as $15 to $18 million. It's unknown whether the streaming music service has begun making money. The first podcast, a holiday special from their Archwell Audio, came out in December 2020 and was not part of the deal, making another $3.5 million a year. Prince Harry and Oprah Winfrey announced that they were going to executive produce a mental health series for Apple TV. The series was caught up in production delays, but is an extension of the Duke's own work that he candidly shared. Adding to the activities of their production company, both Harry and Meghan have earned money from book writing. Meghan published a book titled The Bench in 2021, and Harry has written a memoir, Spare, which should be releasing this year. For this book, Harry was reportedly paid close to $20 million. Harry also earns money from the mental health firm Better Up, of which he serves as a board executive. Their biggest potential moneymaker might be the 5-year $100 million contract with Netflix signed in September 2020. They plan to produce documentaries among other things, but we still don't know if Prince Harry and Meghan received an advance on the deal. If they did, it'll likely contribute to their net worth. Financial independence doesn't seem too difficult for them to achieve. What do you guys think? Was it a bad move to quit the royal life? On to number 8, the late Princess Diana is acknowledged by Harry for making their move possible. After being cut off from financial support from the palace, the relocated royals relied on the estimated $10 million inheritance Harry received from his late mother's estate. Although he was not a beneficiary of any of the $100 million fortune left by his great-grandmother, the Queen Mother. That's a fumble. $100 million in the bank account might not be looking too bad right now, is it, Meghan Harry? With Meghan Markle's $2 million earnings from her work in films and television shows, most notably the long-running legal drama Suits, the couple doesn't seem too far off from their own goal of comfortable financial independence. But is it all a facade? Are they really well off for life? Number 7 on the list, they bought a $14 million estate in Montecito, the seaside Santa Barbara, California, home to A-list Hollywood celebrities. I always wondered if the relocation was both of their decision, or did Meghan just really want to move back to the US? The Duke and Duchess also repaid the sovereign grant for the $3 million spent to remodel Frogmore Cottage. So if I did the math right, that means Prince Harry and Meghan are left with $5 million, at least for now. Their estimated net worth, including the equity from their home, is roughly $10 million. The Queen has a net worth of $500 million, while the combined value of the British monarch's holdings were worth an estimated $25 billion. Did Harry fumble a bag? They needed to focus on their mental health, so it's fair, but I'd be lying if I said that isn't an insanely huge amount of money to have access to. If put in the same position, I wonder how many other people would do the same. Would you leave the royal household for your mental health if you were born or married into it? The prince and his wife want to dedicate their life to helping others and improving the world. Prince Harry stated that his life is always going to be about public service, and Meghan signed up to that. But they also have to pay the bills, and thanks to their global celebrity status, Hollywood is only happy to capitalize, helping to cushion the financial blow. On to number 6, let's talk about the Oprah interview. After the CBS special interview was aired, some supporters and haters stirred some drama about the kinds of conversations that were had. Many were even calling Meghan out for lying about what was happening to her during her time as a working royal. Whether or not she was telling the whole truth, at the end of the day, she did what she had to do to find peace, which is good for her and their family. The allegations about her lying and victimizing herself became another reason to hate on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meghan and Prince Harry discussed their time as working royals and their experiences since stepping down. In the interview, Meghan mentioned how there were concerns and conversations about how dark Archie's skin might be when he's born within the royal family. Considering the multiple accusations of racism that have come out throughout the years about this family, this really isn't too surprising to hear, but it is sad to know some members of the family have a mindset where it's important to know the skin color before the baby is even born. The former actress also spoke about being silenced by the royal family, explaining she was directed to give a no comment on questions directed her way once the couple's relationship was public. Counting down to number 5, family drama continues with Meghan's side of the family too. Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, went behind Meg's back to do media interviews after the wedding and criticized his daughter and other members of the royal family, which Meg later admitted was very embarrassing for the family. Thomas might have taken it too far, leaving his relationship with his daughter in pretty bad shape. According to Meghan, the Queen and Prince Charles advised her to write her father a letter, but somehow the letter was found and leaked to the public. #suspicious. The Mail on Sunday printed part of the letter, editing out the lines about the media's behavior. What a coincidence. Whether you hate or love the couple, you gotta admit that it's a snake move to publish intimate conversations and simply a gross invasion of privacy. But of course, the family and media drama doesn't end there. They asked for permission from King Charles to move to Canada. The plan was to continue working within the Commonwealth and doing work in the name of the Queen while moving away from the media and photographers. Harry wrote emails to King Charles putting their plans into writing at Charles's request. He said he included a detail that the couple would be willing to relinquish their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles if their moving plans didn't materialize. Harry said it was 5 days later that their plans were on the front page of the newspaper. Did the royal institution leak the couple's plans to move to Canada? It seems like that's what Harry was indirectly saying. At that point, they decided to step back from their duties and pursue financial independence. Living in a family with snakes, I would want to get out of there ASAP too. Good for you, Harry and Meg. Number 4, Harry really broke up with the royal family through email. Not only did Meghan think it was best for them to move out of the royal palace completely, the process soured their relationships with other royal members, including the staff, with the reports of a few longtime members quitting because of Meghan's behavior. Apparently there were several reasons for the staff to call it quits, like Meghan shamelessly sending multiple emails throughout the night or demanding instant gratification while freaking out about what to wear and home renovations. I can't even lie, that sounds exhausting. No one wants to answer emails at 1 a.m. Come on, Meghan. And Meg, if you're out here victimizing yourself but at the same time bullying other members of the royal staff, what are we supposed to believe? On the other hand, the bullying got so bad for Meghan that Harry himself took a stand to defend his wifey and make a statement about leaving her alone because some media sources were taking it too far. And even if he is right to defend Meghan, if she was really treating other people without consideration, it makes the whole thing seem over-exaggerated, which they have been accused of doing in past interviews. On to number 3, it is a known fact that Meghan is pretty determined to do her way. I mean, she literally made so many controversial decisions in the past couple years alone to prove she can do whatever she thinks is best. During a conversation with the Queen's personal assistant, it was insinuated that Meghan should wear a hat since the Queen would be wearing one, but Meghan preferred to go without one. She really said, "I'm gonna do me regardless." It seems like Meghan and Harry want to cherry pick events they'll attend, the charities that they support, and the endeavors they want the public to be a part of without having to experience the downsides of a public life. Number 2, is the spilling of the tea ever going to stop? The only way to shut out the media entirely is to completely remove themselves from public life, which would include their charitable works and likely any attempts to become even wealthier than they already are now. Only then will the press get bored and move on. But with the way they have been doing things, that truly seems unlikely. Whether they want to admit it or not, it really seems like they're enjoying all the drama and news about them. In a way, the constant conversation surrounding them is keeping people interested and making them money, which is never a bad thing. Harry didn't ask for this life per se, but Meghan must know better. The life of a former actress in Hollywood is equal parts craft and brand. You hope you're making art, but you also have to market yourself so that people watch it. Before she left to become a duchess, Meghan was capitalizing on her own Suits fame with a minor influencing career of her own, which included a blog called The Tig. Not at all coincidentally, the designers behind The Tig also created the new Sussex Royal website. For years, royal followers have been fascinated with Prince Harry's net worth, which obviously grew even more after their decision to take a step back from the British royal family. The fascination around Meghan and Harry's post-royals life sparked again in March 2021 when the two were interviewed by Oprah Winfrey for the CBS primetime special. Though there was speculation at the time that Meghan and Harry were paid for the interview, it was later confirmed that the couple would not be collecting a paycheck and said that no donations are being made to their charity. So they aired out their royal drama for free $99? Interesting. With that said, there are still a lot of question marks around Prince Harry's net worth. How much were Prince Harry's annual allowances? 95% of Harry's income before he left the royal family came from his father, King Charles III, who at the time controlled the Duchy of Cornwall, a portfolio of property and financial investments, securing $29 million back in 2019. Harry's annual allowance from Duchy, which he shared with Meghan, was around $7 million. This paid for Harry and Meghan's public duties as working members of the royal family, such as wardrobe and travel, as well as private costs. The other 5% of Harry's income came from the Sovereign Grant, which is a taxpayer-funded and paid from the government to the royal family to cover expenses for official duties, as well as the royal palace. According to the BBC, the grant, which is also funded from Crown estate profits and commercial properties owned by the Crown, is worth $114 million. Starting off with number 10, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay is a great example of the negative aspects of fame. As a child, the actress had starring roles in The Parent Trap, and as an adult, she had roles in Freaky Friday and Mean Girls. However, she quickly established a reputation for being difficult to work with, even receiving criticism from the head of the production company that produced Lohan's 2007 film Georgia Rule, James G. Robinson. Even though Lohan made a lot of money as an actress, model, and recording artist, her legal and personal problems cost her a lot of money. The IRS seized Lohan's bank account in 2012 to claim the $233,000 she was said to owe in back taxes. At the time, the actress was close to filing for bankruptcy, and her net worth is only $800,000. Number 9, MC Hammer. With regards to the story of the one-hit wonder, nobody can contact MC Hammer. Genuine with the real name Stanley Kirk Burrell, the mega hit You Can't Touch This, Hammer's first single to achieve the coveted diamond status on Billboard, cemented his status as a pop rap artist. He popularized shiny harem pants, also known as hammer pants, with less success. Hammer made a lot of money from his hit single. At the height of his popularity in 1991, he reportedly took home $33 million. However, his extravagant spending on luxury cars, a record label, aircraft, and a $30 million built from scratch residence that ultimately sold for less than $7 million ate into his wealth. In 1996, he declared bankruptcy, and for the subsequent 20 years, he owed the IRS thousands of dollars in unpaid taxes. Combined with his unrestrained spending and numerous lawsuits, Hammer declared bankruptcy in 96 while he was reportedly $13 million in debt. In 2011, he went on the Oprah Winfrey Show to talk about spending most days in California's Silicon Valley and being loosely involved with about 8 technology companies. Number 8, Mike Tyson. American boxing icon Mike Tyson, who became so well known that he even inspired a Nintendo video game, amassed his first fortune. However, Tyson's downfall from being a powerful boxer to being poor was steep as he made mistake after mistake. Beginning in the late 80s, Tyson struggled with personal and legal issues. As he went through a separation, Tyson became progressively rusty and began to lose his hotshot picture. He was found guilty of SA not long after, and as part of his 10-year sentence, he spent 3 years in federal prison. After returning to the sport, the boxer appeared to be making a comeback, but in a 1997 fight, he famously bit off part of Evander Holyfield's ear. After 5 years, Tyson petitioned for financial protection, reporting his retirement presently in 2005. Tyson has made some progress toward recovery despite his difficulties and his various media roles, which includes a starring role in Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral, and the animated series Mike Tyson Mysteries are believed to have contributed to his reported $3 million net worth. Number 7, Shia LaBeouf. Shi's fans frequently Google the question, what happened to him, despite the fact that he's pretty young. It is evident that this actor has made multiple bad choices throughout his career, with his roles in Disturbia, the Transformers franchise, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Shia LaBeouf transitioned from Disney Channel child actor to blockbuster heavyweight. However, in 2012, his increasingly erratic behavior led many to believe he was on the verge of breakdown. LaBeouf isn't living the typical Hollywood life, organizing intense live art exhibits and walking the red carpet with a paper bag over his head. He still has a reported net worth of $25 million, so this hasn't affected his finances too much compared to others on our list. However, his public denigration of Hollywood and reputation for oddity have certainly slowed down his wealth growth. For instance, only one ticket was sold for his war drama Man Down during its opening weekend in the UK. Damn. Number 6, Nicolas Cage. Sometimes in the distant past, Nicolas had a total assets of $150 million as per People. He reportedly earned $20 million for each of his roles in popular movies like Gone in 60 Seconds and National Treasure, which enabled him to live a lavish lifestyle, though perhaps not quite as lavish as the one he was living at the time. For instance, in 2006, the actor paid $3 million for more than 40 acres of a private island. Even though that amount might seem reasonable to a man of Cage's wealth, he went one step further by purchasing 4 luxury yachts for $20 million in addition to the island. That was only the tip of a little part of his land portfolio, as he once claimed 15 homes in California, Rhode Island, New York, Las Vegas, New Orleans, the Bahamas, Germany, and Britain, just to give some examples, as per Forbes. Cage filed a $20 million lawsuit against his former business manager in 2009, claiming that he'd led him down a path toward financial ruin and had acted negligently and fraudulently. That very year, the IRS hit enclosure with quite a while of neglected charge bills, adding up to a $13.3 million, as per TMZ. And according to TMZ, the actor had been working hard to pay off his IRS debts by 2012, when his balance was only $6 million. His current net worth is $25 million, so it appears that he has made significant progress toward regaining his fortune. On to number 5, Dennis Rodman. According to SpotRack, Dennis had made more than $27 million in his 12 NBA seasons. However, his current net worth is only $500,000, which is only a small portion of his initial fortune. A large part of the NBA lobby of Famer's monetary defeat was brought about by Peggy Ann Fulford, a monetary counselor he met during the 2000s. Sports Illustrated claims that Fulford removed access to his debit card and took control of his bank accounts at one point after retiring, claiming that his excessive spending demonstrated that he could not be trusted with his own money. Fulford was apprehended after it was discovered that she was laundering money through more than 20 shell corporations, 3 of which were under Rodman's name, and managing 85 bank accounts, pushing money from one to the next to fund her extravagant lifestyle. For defrauding Rodman and others, she was given a 10-year prison sentence in 2018 and ordered to pay $5.7 million in restitution to her victims. In 2019, Rodman also brought a separate lawsuit against Fulford. 2012, Rodman's lawyers said he could barely afford living expenses and could not pay child support for his 2 kids. At the time, he reportedly owed over $800,000 in back child support, but in court documents, his lawyers said he was broke and sick. Recently, Rodman was accused of stealing a 400-pound amethyst crystal from a yoga studio, as well as more than $500 worth of clothing from brands like Spiritual Gangster and Lululemon. He denied the allegation and said the merchandise was given as a gift. On to number 4, Stephen Baldwin. Haley's father appeared in films like The Usual Suspects, Biodome, and The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas in the 90s and early 2000s. He still claimed more than $2.3 million in debt when he filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2009 despite his success. From that point forward, one self-portrayed brought back to life Christian has to a great extent moved his concentration to religious movies. A portion of his new works incorporate A Stroll with Effortlessness and The Unmiracle. Although this hasn't made him wealthy in Hollywood, it has helped him accumulate a healthy net worth of $500,000. Troubles repeated as Baldwin's house was foreclosed in 2017 after 6 years of no mortgage payments. On another occasion, Baldwin was arrested and served 5 years probation for failing to pay taxes for 3 straight years. Number 3, Toni Braxton. Grammy girl Toni is known for belting out hits like Another Miserable Love Tune and Inhale Once More. However, she hasn't had as much accomplishment with dealing with her funds. She's declared bankruptcy twice, once in 1998 and once in 2010. She listed assets of up to $10 million and debts of up to $50 million in her bankruptcy filing from 2010. Although no specifics about her financial woes were made public, the bankruptcy papers provided a lengthy list of potential creditors. The Four Seasons Hotels, Neiman Marcus, Tiffany & Co., and BMW Financial Services were among the extravagant businesses. In addition, earlier that year, the IRS issued a lien against her for $396,000. Braxton settled her second Chapter 11 out of 2013. A half year after the fact, she bought a $3 million manor in the celeb-weighty Calabasas, California area, The Oaks. Her current net worth is $10 million, probably thanks to her reality show Braxton Family Values, which has been airing on WeTV since 2011. On to number 2, Michael Jackson. Although more attention is paid to Michael Jackson's legal issues than to his financial ones, his rise and fall have been well documented. However, the King of Pop went from being one of the greatest artists of all time and earning up to $100 million per year to dying in deep debt. How did it come about? Jackson spent a lot of money on real estate, including a lot of money for Neverland Ranch, and he also gave $65 million to art projects. According to Celebrity Net Worth, he also had to pay $20 million in ongoing legal fees to fight the scandal of his charges in 2005. And even though MJ had financial problems while he was alive, his brand is still strong today. The executors of Michael Jackson have increased his posthumous net worth to $500 million by rebuilding his legacy, making his estate the wealthiest on his list. And finally, number 1, Johnny Depp. It's hard to imagine a bigger star than Johnny Depp, who has been acting for more than 35 years. In the early 90s, iconic films like Edward Scissorhands and What's Eating Gilbert Grape gave Depp an artsy image, but his role as Captain Jack in the Pirates of the Caribbean series was his real breakthrough. Despite Johnny Depp's impressive $20 million per film salary, his film's box office results have not always matched his star power. In 2015 and 2016, Forbes ranked Depp as the most overpaid actor in Hollywood. Therefore, perhaps it should not come as a surprise that Depp has encountered financial difficulties as a result of his extravagant spending, which includes spending $30,000 per month on wine and spending $3 million to shoot the ashes of journalist Hunter S. Thompson from a cannon. What? In 2018, Depp settled a $25 million claim that guarantees his ex-administration bunch bungled his cash. Additionally, he and his ex-wife Amber Heard were engaged in a very public and ongoing legal battle, which I'm sure was pretty pricey. However, he still has some cash on hand. Depp currently possesses a net worth of $200 million, as stated by Celebrity Net Worth. Watching celebrities respond to internet trolls, looking at lists of the most hated celebrities, and asking ourselves, why do people hate Nickelback, are all part of our obsession with celebrity gossip. I mean, why not? However, our favorite kind of drama has always been Hollywood's richest and most well-known people losing their money. Hello, the rich life. Overspending, issues with taxes, legal action, and starting new careers can all eat away at even the most enormous fortunes, as many of the celebs mentioned today. Starting off with number 10, even though the royal family makes money, there are many royal families, business moguls, and even celebrities who are making more than the royals. Actress Salma Hayek's net worth of $191 million is already impressive. Add the wealth of her billionaire husband, and you've got one of the richest families in Hollywood. François-Henri Pinault might not be as well known as his glamorous actress wife is, but the 58-year-old CEO of luxury brand Kering owns Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, and Alexander McQueen. It's estimated that his net worth could be anything up to $31 billion. The couple owns a $32 million two-bed townhouse in Chelsea, London, and 2 art galleries in Paris. The family also owns Christie's auction house and a 3,000-piece art collection. Married in 2009 on Valentine's Day, their wedding is still considered one of the most expensive ever. A lavish masquerade-style rehearsal dinner was held at the 17th century Punta della Dogana, which they don't own but spent $20 million renovating ahead of the big day. The glamorous 2-day event is believed to have cost $3 million, with Salma's wedding dress being made by Balenciaga. That's a way to spend your riches. Now I'm gonna have to go find a billionaire husband too. King Charles and Camilla's riches might be impressive, but a net worth of $31 billion is a whole different kind of flex. On to number 9, the world's richest royal family is in Thailand. King Maha Vajiralongkorn's family has acquired $30 billion in wealth. The family made their riches from investments through the Crown Property Bureau, which manages the property of the Crown of the Kingdom of Thailand. The king also owns the 545-carat Golden Jubilee diamond, which is the world's largest cut and faceted diamond. And if you think Meghan Markle hit the jackpot, consider this: the king is the first and only royal ruler to be born in the United States. The King of Thailand has built up an impressive fleet of aircraft in his collection and keeps adding more aviation vehicles to his disposal. The king owns 38 jets and helicopters exclusively used by the royal family in Thailand. He has 3 Airbuses, 4 Boeing Airlines, superjets, fighter jets, and 21 helicopters. Being rich enough to basically have a garage of luxury jets is a huge flex. In total, fuel and maintenance cost him $64 million. One of the biggest sources of wealth for the King of Thailand comes from the inherited assets acquired from his late father. He is also the largest shareholder in 2 of the country's biggest commercial properties. The property portfolio also has towering office buildings, luxury shopping malls, and high-end hotels in Bangkok. And of course, being a king and whatnot, the wealth is shown in the mansion he lives in, worth $12 million. The king also owns a massive car collection, royal boat, and some of the world's most expensive jewelry. Rishi Sunak will become the wealthiest ever Prime Minister of the UK, with his family's personal fortune surpassing the royals. Sunak became the country's 3rd premier in under 2 months. He is the UK's youngest leader since 1812, as well as the first person of color to serve in the role. But Sunak's personal wealth is also grabbing attention, especially as he takes the helm at a time the UK is facing an economic crisis he described as profound in his first address as Prime Minister. Sunak and his wife are worth a combined $837 million. In comparison, Queen Elizabeth was estimated to have a personal net worth of $424 million. Sunak and his wife will become the wealthiest to stay at the residence of the Prime Minister, surpassing the previous record holder, Edward Stanley, the 14th Earl of Derby, who served as Prime Minister 3 times in the 1800s and was worth about $509 million in today's dollars, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Number 7 on today's countdown, the Duchy of Cornwall was established in the 14th century as a way to generate income for the heir to the throne and help to fund the king's private and official expenses. The $28 million profit he made from it last year boosted his official salary just over $1.1 million. The Crown Estate oversees the assets of the monarchy through a board of directors. Charles, as king, will serve as its chairman, but he does not have final say over how the business is managed. The estate, which official accounts value at more than $19 billion, includes shopping malls and busy streets in London's West End, and a growing number of wind farms. The royals are entitled to take only rental income from their official states and may not profit from any sales, as they do not personally own the assets. The estate's profits, valued at about $363 million this year, are turned over to the Treasury, which in return gives the royal household a payment called a sovereign grant based on these profits, which must be topped up by the government if it is lower than the previous year. In 2017, the government increased the family's payment to 25% of the profits to cover the costs of renovating Buckingham Palace. Number 6 on our list, as deep of a connection Charles and Camilla had when they first met, it wasn't enough to consider Camilla a suitable match for the heir to the British throne at the time. Instead, the two went on to wed other partners, engaged in a scandalous affair, and watched as Camilla became the longtime object of public scorn before they were able to finally tie the knot in 2005. Camilla was from an upper-class background, Her wealthy, well-connected relations included a grandfather who was a baron. Many of those around Charles wanted the prince to wed someone with the highest aristocratic pedigrees, and at the time Camilla was only considered a commoner. During his bachelor years, he was often linked to the daughters of dukes and earls, one of whom was Lady Sarah Spencer, older sister to the girl who would become Princess Diana. Lord Louis Mountbatten, a mentor, great uncle, and surrogate grandfather to the prince, had a match between Charles and his own granddaughter in mind. Camilla didn't possess a title, but she did have a royal link. Her great-grandmother, Alice Keppel, had been a mistress of Edward VII, Charles's great-grandfather. Mutual friend Lucia Santa Cruz reportedly joked about the relationship when she introduced them, yet the connection wasn't one likely to render Camilla more suitable in the eyes of a monarchy dedicated to preserving its public image. On to number 5, King Charles once had the nickname Pampered Prince, given by his staff at Clarence House. The former Prince of Wales made quite a few lavish requests, which were revealed in the 2015 Amazon Prime documentary Serving the Royals Inside the Firm. Paul Burrell, who served as a butler to Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana, revealed the precise directions the king's staff are given to care for him, from ironing his shoelaces to putting toothpaste on his toothbrush. Talk about being royally lazy. The former butler shared that King Charles had everything. His pajamas are pressed every morning, his shoelaces are pressed flat with an iron, the bath plug has to be in a certain position, and the water temperature has to be just tepid, in a bathtub filled only half full. After getting ready, King Charles's strict morning routine is continued with his breakfast. Prince Charles has a healthier option. He'd have homemade bread, a bowl of fresh fruit, and fresh fruit juices, said Chef Graham Newbold, a former member of the royal staff. Wherever the prince goes in the world, the breakfast box goes with him. He has 6 different types of honey, some special mueslis, his dried fruit, and anything that's a bit special that he is a bit fussy about. He also supposedly insists his cheese and biscuits be warmed to a certain temperature at the end of meals and makes his staff keep a warming tray nearby. Since he's particular about everything, claimed a royal insider. Honestly, a warming tray sounds like a great idea. Let me get in on that. One of the world's biggest former power couples, reality megastar Kim Kardashian and rapper Kanye West, are 8th on our countdown of reasons we have to consider Charles and Camilla broke. After becoming a billionaire, Kim's multiple businesses, including her own beauty range and shapewear, have consistently been a hot topic. With ex-husband's own personal fortune, including fashion label Yeezy, their kids are about to be living a very lavish lifestyle. With 2 $13 million luxury ranches in Wyoming, $56 million Hollywood mansion in their property empire, and $6 million car collection and a multi-million-pound jewelry stash, they're really stacked up. Kim, along with the rest of the Kardashians, regularly take private jets around the world. Celebrities become rich and suddenly forget that the planet is damaged from all the pollution and fuels that constantly attack it. Sad. Before becoming president of the United States, Donald Trump made his fortune in real estate, giving him a very impressive property portfolio. This includes 58-floor Trump Towers on 5th Avenue, his 58-bed private club in exclusive Palm Beach, Florida, and the 17 golf clubs he owns across the world. Trump visits all his properties in his $94 million Boeing 747 called Trump Force One and a $6 million helicopter. After Trump married Melania, the pair reportedly spent $1.2 million on their big day, and Melania's engagement ring is said to be worth around $2.7 million. The growth of the royal family and King Charles's personal wealth over the past decade came at a time when Britain faced deep budget cuts. Poverty levels soared and the use of food banks almost doubled. His lifestyle of palaces and polo has long fueled accusations that he is out of touch with ordinary people, and he has at times been the unwitting symbol of that disconnect, such as when his limo was mobbed by students protesting rising tuition in 2010. There may be many scandals the king was involved in, but the issues concerning how much money the royals make compared to all the money the taxpayers lose are one of the more consistent. Last on our list, King Charles has made financial headlines unrelated to his wealth but tied to the charitable foundation that he shares and operates in his name. He's been involved in a lot of controversy, most recently this spring when it was reported that Charles had accepted 3 million euros in cash, including money stuffed in shopping bags and a suitcase, from a former Qatari prime minister. The money was for his foundation, which finances philanthropic causes around the world. Charles does not benefit financially from such contributions. He's willing to take money from anybody, really, without questioning whether it's the wise thing to do, said Norman Baker, a former government minister. Charles received backlash with his outspoken views and began campaigning, which is against royal protocols to voice any political opinions. In his inaugural address on Saturday, the king indicated that he planned to step back from his outside endeavors. It will no longer be possible for me to give so much of my time and energy to charities and issues for which I care so deeply about. So we can't help but think, how much wealth will this couple really lose if the future generations don't want to live under the ruling of a monarchy? What do you guys think? Starting off with number 10, Michael Jackson. The king of pop is no stranger to surgeries, whether it's facial, corrective, or just for other reasons. The media had given his surgeries a lot of attention for these procedures. He began modestly by simply wanting a different nose. He was ultimately desperately attempting to repair the damage caused by careless and erroneous injections and operations after up to 100 procedures. Michael Jackson, undoubtedly the most well-known illustration of the dangers of plastic surgery, worked for 30 years to achieve his ideal of perfection. Some of his friends said that he was taking inspiration from Diana Ross, while others said that he just wanted to get rid of any resemblance to his despised father. He desired to have his nose done and would ask his sister LaToya for her thoughts and even asked her to be his guinea pig for the procedure. If it came out right on her, he would then go get it done. Satisfied by the results of his sisters, Michael eventually decided to get the work done too, but it didn't stop there. 7 years later, he also convinced Hollywood hairstylist Steve Earhart to be the first to try a cleft chin operation. Earhart asserts that the singer's plastic surgeon advised him to get a chin like Kirk Douglas, something very masculine. Jackson underwent this procedure multiple times after Earhart's new chin was revealed. Michael also bleached his skin, had Botox, fillers, cheek implants, and lip augmentation despite his initial nerves. He altered the shape of his nose to the point where it was so small that it blocked his airways. Dr. Ida Gorbis, a specialist in body dysmorphic disorder, claims Jackson underwent as many as 100 procedures. He believes Jackson was suffering from the condition, which causes sufferers to have a distorted view of their appearance. His ethnicity and his original features eventually vanished almost entirely. The most shocking revelation, however, is a computer-generated image of the star as an attractive, contented black man with a warm smile if he had kept his face. You may have everything in the world and it still somehow is never enough. Sad to see, which is why it's so important to accept yourself for who you are, or else you'll never be satisfied no matter how much you change. On to number 9, John Travolta. Plastic surgery on John Travolta had become the hottest topic in town, attracting a lot of people to talk about it. They are all interested in learning the secret behind John Travolta's transformation. Many people on social media posted that they are pretty sure he had waxed his face, but he didn't hide it from his fans and the media. This actor is strongly believed to have undergone extensive plastic surgery. Because the work of the plastic surgeon is clearly visible on his face, it would be impossible for him to simply deny the existence of the surgery. John Travolta's pictures before and after surgery show some significant differences. In recent times, John Travolta has raised eyebrows, eliciting a hilarious response from the popular hit show The People vs. O.J. Simpson's viewers. In his most recent blockbuster, in which he played Hollywood legal tycoon Robert Shapiro, the charismatic work of plastic surgery had changed his iconic face. The tight, shiny forehead, bushy, arched brows that lift, and then the weave that was applied to his hair made him look like a new person. The admirable natural glaze on his face, which fans admired, had completely vanished. The alterations that have taken place all over his face clearly indicate that numerous steps have been taken to transform the overall appearance into one that is more artificial than natural. There are numerous claims that he had at least 2 procedures on his face, most likely a facelift and a Botox injection, which may have rendered him flawless but unnatural. As a result, we can conclude that John Travolta had taken the plastic surgery procedure too seriously and too far. But the bottom line is that he is content. John must have put a lot of effort to look younger and maintain his youthful charm. His appearance before and after clearly demonstrates a significant transformation, or more accurately, change. Grease, Face Off, and Hairspray were all box office successes, and John was a very handsome man with natural physique and glamour. His presence, on the other hand, sparked a lot of speculation about the changes to his face. John Travolta's face has taken on the appearance of wax, as critics have pointed out. What's your opinion? Does his face freeze up because of bad makeup? No way. Although the cosmetics may have reduced the appearance of wrinkles, the frozen face still appears to look awkward. Some critics even claim that Travolta's forehead was spotless but visually dead. Yikes. Can he move his normally Botox parts? This question was loudly asked by many. In addition to the facelift, the audiences are also drawn to the changes in his hair, which may have been the result of a hair transplant. Consequently, they are beautiful and straight. We can see the differences with wide open eyes, so it's possible that John Travolta plastic surgery is not even a rumor at all. He did it even though not everyone agreed. Although what he does to his face and hair is entirely up to him, many in the audience were surprised that he would undergo such surgery. Although the surgery is not discussed at all, it has exceeded the usual limit. Although the New Jersey heartthrob, who is 66 years old, appears to have a wrinkled face and skin that has fallen out, he disliked the natural process of getting older. He looks different in different photos and in recent times after several surgeries. Many ardent followers have tweeted because they are unable to identify this person. Isn't that comical? As a result, he added himself to the list of people who undergo cosmetic surgery. Do you think he looks good with his wrinkle-free face? Share your point of view in the comments below. On to number 8, Cardi B. At the end of 2022, Cardi B took to her Instagram account to express her regrets regarding her plastic surgery and to advise her followers not to enhance their features. I had surgery in August and 95% of my biopolymers were taken out as shots. If you don't know what they are, she went into detail. It was a really crazy process. All I'm going to say is don't. If you're young, 19, 20, or 21, and sometimes feel too thin and think, OMG, I don't have enough fat to put in my butt. In the past, the Hustlers actress and rapper has been open about her work in the beauty industry, once admitting that she paid $800 for illegal silicone shots. In 2014, she underwent the procedure in a basement. For one, that just sounds really suspicious. Illegal surgery in a basement? I don't even know how she anticipated it would be a good or safe procedure. But regardless, she looks amazing and has been killing it in the industry, so shout out to Cardi. On to number 7, Tara Reid. Tara described the incident as terrible. She says, I became known as having the world's ugliest breasts. These websites were littered with it. They number millions. Tara stated, I was already dealing with what I looked like when discussing her horrifying experience. The world seeing it was the last thing I wanted to happen. Despite the fact that her weight fluctuation influenced the initial decision, Tara acknowledged that Hollywood pressure influenced her to undergo surgery. At first, I did it because one breast was larger than the other, but I also gained and lost weight, so they were getting saggy. In Hollywood, you have to look great. Tara also had stomach liposuction, which made her skin look wavy. She eventually underwent corrective procedures and she is pleased with her body now. Tara acknowledged, when I walk out of the shower now, it's like, wow, I'm back. This is a rare case because sometimes corrective procedures can go wrong too. Tara's lucky she is finally satisfied with her appearance. On to number 6, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon has had plastic surgery before, but her facelift at the end of 2021 made her look like a cyclops, to use her own words. She told the Sunday Times in April 2022, it hurt like hell. I had a full facelift in October, and I looked like one of those mummies that they wrap with bandages. You don't know. Ouch. Sharon said that she looked horrendous after the surgery, which took more than 5 hours. She continued to the surgeon, I'm like, you've got to be effing joking. There was a difference between the eyes. I had the appearance of a cyclops. All I need is a hunchback, I'm thinking. The outcomes even shocked Ozzy Osbourne, her husband. Sharon discovered that he reassured her, we'll get it redone regardless of how much it costs. She is pleased with her appearance now that the reconstructive work has settled her face, which is a good thing. On to number 5, Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox admitted that she regrets some procedures she underwent to conform to Hollywood standards. Being older is not an easy process. She says, however, I have gained knowledge. I believe I was attempting to keep up with my age. During an appearance on Running Wild with Bear Grylls in 2016, she stated, "I have done things that I regret, and fortunately they're things that dissolve and go away. That's good because that's not always been my best look." Kourtney allowed all of her filler to dissolve the following year. In a 2022 interview with the Sunday Times, the actress admitted that she looked really strange after going under the knife, and she expressed further regret over the extreme length she went to maintain her youthful complexion. "At one point I thought, oh, I'm changing. I look older," Cox stated, "and I didn't realize that. Injecting and doing things to my face that I wouldn't do now actually make me look weird." The former Friends star claimed to have eliminated all injectable fillers from her face. "All of my fillers have disintegrated. I'm as effortless as possible." In 2017, Cox told New Beauty, "I look like myself. It makes me feel better. I now appear to be more like who I used to be. I'm hoping so. There will be changes. Everything will fall apart. I tried to prevent it from dropping, but that made me appear phony." She went on to say, "If you have thin skin like mine, you need movement in your face. Rather than wrinkles, those are smile lines. I have had to learn to accept movement and accept that fillers are not my friend." On to number 4, Khloe Kardashian. In addition to Kylie Jenner, other Keeping Up with Kardashian stars have admitted to using too many fillers. Regarding face fillers, Khloe stated, "It did not work for me. I went to have it all dissolved 3 times because I looked crazy and still think the effects are there." Since then, Khloe has been the subject of rumors about cosmetic procedures and has finally admitted to having had a nose job. On to number 3, Yolanda Hadid. The star of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has spoken out about how her battle with Lyme disease led her to dissolve her fillers and remove her implants in an effort to find the source of her illness. "I became ill as soon as I appeared on the show," she stated to ABC News. "I've never worked on that show with a normal brain. I was constantly struggling and trying to hold on to my job." In 2015, Hadid had her implants removed because one of them had burst, leaking silicone into her chest cavity, which according to her was making her Lyme disease symptoms worse. She recently shared a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Getting everything removed. Until the toxicity of it all almost killed me, I lived in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox, extensions, and all. I thought I needed to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe a sexy woman should look like." She went on to say, "Because your health is your wealth, please research the limited information our broken system provides before putting anything foreign into your body." Real tea, Yolanda. On to number 2, Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers lost when he gambled with plastic surgery, Dr. Yoon says. The country singer told People magazine in 2006, "I'm not happy about it, about a bad eyelid lift. It makes me insane." According to Dr. Yoon, he no longer resembles the scruffy masculine man we knew in the 1970s because of his tight eyelids. Rip Kenny Rogers. And on to number 1, Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace's overly full upper lip is the first thing that comes to mind. The average natural size of the lower lip is about half that of the upper lip. However, Dr. Yoon refers to Versace's look as a trout pout because the proportions are flipped. Additionally, the designer's skin appears waxy, possibly from numerous laser treatments. But that's all for today. What do you think about these celebrity horror stories about their plastic surgery? And would you ever consider getting anything done to you? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more celebrity news, and I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.